I got interested in the War Crimes Tribunal that was on at The Hague back in 2005. This is, and I went on their website and was reading witness testimony for the trial against Slobodan Milosevic at the time, and reading this testimony, I realised that all these soldiers, a lot of these soldiers, would say that they were forced into some of the things that they were accused of doing, and that they feared for their lives. And I started to think, well, there's two sides to what we hear when we watch the news every day. So then I delved into that and came up with this story, which is based on a lot of the witness testimony that I had read. So parts of the story are true accounts of what actually happened. Well, no, early on I knew I'd seen Tianna's writing, and we'd worked together on a film earlier in that year. And I'd seen some of her writing, and I liked it. So when it came to writing this, after I got the first, or was kind of the outline out, that's when I brought Tianna along, and we collaborated together. And I think it made the film a decent film. I think without her, it probably wouldn't have been as good, and we might not have this award right here. So.
Well, I was very intrigued with the topic. It's a very courageous thing to make a film about. I mean, essentially, our protagonists were the people doing the killing. And, you know, I'm very interested in the idea of every one person's terrorist is another person's hero, and vice versa. And I wanted to examine, and I was fascinated that he was examining this, of the person who's doing the killing and why they're doing it. What is the justification for it, and what can we learn from that? And so I started researching it. You know, when I first read it, then I went to start researching the time period when this war happened, how it came about, how a civilized society went from being just like this to the next day killing friends, family, neighbor, just like that, because they felt that was their only choice. So it was very easy to convince me to start working on this film. Well, that's why we wanted. I mean, you can show. This can be a very plot-heavy kind of a film with this versus that, what the situation is, what the war is, but that's why we wanted to use a friendship that 1 minute people aren't seeing each other's religions or cultures or colors of their skin, and then the next minute they are told they have to, and that for me is that the humanity is in that, you know, and then they're forced to revisit it. They're forced to deal with it within the war period and then revisit it within the war when they see each other's faces. And there's nobody who sees that and is not affected, I think, by seeing these two people deal with being face-to-face in this situation.
Yeah, the description to me described the film. When I was reading about what the kind of films that Angelus and at that Angelus program, I thought, wow, this is perfect for us. And there's also, I mean, I've submitted to a lot of festivals, and there's kind of you submit to a festival, and there's a feeling when you submit that it's like just a good feeling about it. And I had that, and I was telling Tianna that, you know, I've got a good feeling about this, and it's a festival that ended up selecting our film. So, yeah, it's a strange thing, but oh, fantastic! Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I mean. Actually, at the awards luncheon, which we couldn't go to because we were at another festival, we sent some of the actors the two lead actors had come in our place, and I remember we were at the other festival and I was looking at the time and I was like, okay, so they would have given out the awards by now. I should call them, or should I wait? Should I call? So I called them up and they were like, oh, you know, it's great. We had so much fun, but you didn't win anything. And I was like, oh, really? You know, but. Such is life. And then it was 2 days later, I get a call from Monica, and she's left a message on my phone, and she says, Chris, call me back. I have some news for you. And I'm thinking, what news? I mean, the festival's over. And then I called her, and she said, oh, we've decided that you guys have the Outstanding Screenwriting Prize. And I was like, wow, that's incredible. It was kind of nice that we were told that we didn't win, but then we did win. So it was exciting.
Total running time?